There are moments when you feel lost and you need some kind of guidance in life. And I've been there before. I'll tell you the story of when I almost went to a psychic. I've mentioned in a previous video that I grew up in a Catholic household, and one thing I remember was that we didn't really see much about like the supernatural. Maybe maybe it happened, but I didn't witness it. The only thing that I remember, like anything supernatural, I thought it had to do with maybe like psychics, or because that's what we saw on television. That's what the media showed us, and maybe like pastors. Back to 2018, before I gave my life to Christ. I remember I was coming back from work, and I was waiting for the bus, and opposite me, there was a sign there that said psychic, $20 to come and speak with a psychic to tell you about your future or whatever. It was just psychic, like the neon sign that you have there. I was about to go. 2018, I really needed guidance with life because life was lifing. And I remember just saying, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm working for this company, and like, I don't feel like I'm meant to be there. Something feels off. And just as I was about to cross the road, I remember a word my mom told me when we were little. She said, "Don't let anyone read your palms. Don't let anyone lay a hand on your head. Don't let strangers do that kind of thing to you." I didn't know what it meant. I'm happy that that word, I think that was the Holy Spirit reminding me. And I decided not to go eventually because at least I knew she was saying something. I just said no. You know what? I'm not going to do it. So I went back to the bus and I went back home. Fast forward to 2019. Now I've given my life to Christ. I'm learning about the Holy Spirit. I'm learning about God. I'm building a relationship with Him. Things are beautiful. I remember Sean Bowles at the time, who was teaching about word of knowledge and hearing God for yourself. And this was the first time I was actually intrigued with the mysteries of God. And I was like, that's something I want to be part of. I already love like superhero movies, Marvels and all that. I would love to see the mystery. Like, I'd like to know that. And 2019, November 16th, I believe. Yeah, November 16th. It was on a Saturday morning. I was just worshiping, and I said, Holy Spirit, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I remember while I was saying that to the Holy Spirit, a friend texted me because I had my phone on me. And I said, okay, Holy Spirit, tell me something about this friend that I don't know. And I closed my eyes, just waiting. And then I heard his mother's name is Catherine, Catherine with a C. Now you ask me why C, because at the time where I worked, there was a Catherine there, and her name started with a K. So I said, okay, Catherine with a C, let's ask. I asked my friend, hey, random question. Is your mom's name Catherine, Catherine with a C? I'm just there waiting like for him to answer. And he said, yes, my mom's name is Catherine and it begins with a C. How do you know that? I was like, what? This was the first time I had experienced it for myself. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is insane. How is this even possible? And I was just filled with like God's love in that moment. So I decided to try it again the following year. This was after um, Valentine's Day. A friend had sent me a basket of strawberry chocolates, like different flavors of chocolates. I'll tell you why this is important. So while I was going through my Snapchat, this was like probably a week after Valentine's Day. I was going through my contact list on Snapchat looking for the next person I'll practice on. And a girl's name popped up on my feed. So I clicked on her name. I said, Holy Spirit, tell me something about her that I don't know. And I just waited there. And all of a sudden, I started tasting a coconut flavor of one of the strawberries that my friend had sent me. Remember, we had like different flavors, but this one was specific coconut. No, I didn't eat coconut that day. So it was like a memory of coconut from when I tasted it probably a week ago. It was on my mouth. I could taste it there. And I said, "Oh, is this relating to her?" So I texted her. I was like, "Hey, random question. Does coconut mean anything to you?" And she said, "Yes, I love coconuts. When I was in Nigeria in our compound, we had a coconut tree there in the middle, a big coconut tree, and I always went to it. Now you're making me miss home because of that." I'm going to tell you something about God and the enemy. Whatever God creates, the enemy tries his best to imitate or to corrupt. This is something God has gifted us, word of knowledge, speaking with him, hearing from him about other people, about our life. And then you see the devil, he brings in things like astrology and psychics and yoga and all these things to imitate what God has already blessed us with. So, this brings me back to the beginning of Purpose in 2018 when I was trying to know what my purpose was. And that was one of the things that actually inspired me to write my book on purpose. I believe that it's good that we tell children, help them know that, okay, look, you were created for something more. The same thing applies to adults. We ask ourselves sometimes, this thing I'm doing, does it even matter? It does. All you have to do is just ask God, ask the Holy Spirit to guide you to know what your own purpose is in His design. You don't need to go to some fake psychic to tell you what your purpose is or what you're meant to do next. Um, I felt led to say this now because I feel like it's important, and especially with the shows that I'm watching now and also seeing what's been happening on social media. Um, some people are being drawn to that end. Um, there are consequences of participating in things like that. And even when you listen to music, I need you to just pause and say, who is this serving? Is it God or the enemy?